Welcome to MRE Uncut, where we'll give you real and practical insights into the real estate scene in Melbourne. We'll discuss what's happening in the industry, all backed by MRE's history of over 30 years in the game. With that said, let's jump into this week's episode of MRE Uncut.
Welcome back to another episode of MRE Uncut. I am Sinead Petropoulos, filling in for Stephen Fitzsimon, and today I have Sally Windsor, the Head of People and Performance, and Jake Workman, our General Manager.
Hello, lovely to be here.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. So today we would like to talk about the MRE Academy, a bit of a new initiative that you guys have come up with. So what inspired MRE Academy?
Yeah, good on you. So the MRE Academy has actually been a brainchild for 2 years, right? It's something that Pete and I have been working on for quite some time, this concept of how do we ensure that MRE is bringing in the best people, that we're then training and retaining the best people, getting them to perform at their peak. And it's something that the rest of the industry, we haven't seen done particularly well. So it's been a long time in the making, but really it took a bit of Sal's genius to see it to fruition and implementation.
This is true. This is true.
What type of genius?
Look, I guess it's like Melbourne Real Estate Boot Camp. So what we're going to do is disrupt the industry a little bit because we're going to be able to get best of breed. We can cast the net further than just PMs and real estate, and we can now profile psychometric testing and we can get best of breed. We can bring them in, we can put them through our training program, and we use Caliper, you might have heard of that, our psychometric testing, where we can make sure that their traits are aligned to the job, so we're getting the people in the right jobs. Wouldn't you say, Jake? That's the
100%.
plan.
But I imagine people listening are saying, well, what the hell is MRE Academy?
Yeah, so how does it differentiate from just your normal training? You come in as a property manager to a company. So what sets the MRE Academy apart?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So the MRE Academy is actually really broad. It's a really broad concept. And we had these kind of pipe dream ambitions, and maybe it's someday in the future, of even doing our own training as an RTO, right? And that's an exciting thing for us to think about. Now, I came from the university sector. That's my background. Sal has her own business background, studied psychology, have a psych degree, right? Sal's done a lot of training and development. But the concept around the MRE Academy is getting a different level of sophistication in terms of the recruitment and then the training of people within our business. Because when I look around residential property management, residential property sales, it's not the most sophisticated ecosystem in terms of the development of skills and abilities and knowledge. And to me, that's problematic.
Yeah. And we're going to put them through a program where we can customize it to make sure that we're maximizing the benefit of what they bring to the role. So we're going to pilot it with a property management performance pathway.
Absolutely.
Is that what we're calling it?
PM Pathways program.
Right.
Yes.
That's what we're calling it. And we're going to be able to identify the skills and traits that make the best PMs. We can teach them the nuts and bolts of property management. We're looking for their commitment, their energy, their motivation, their desire to be that service-orientated MRE person. And then what we're going to do is align them to their traits to see where their strengths are and really make sure that we're putting people that have the strengths. Naturally they're organised, they're structured, compliant, follow procedure. So we know what makes a good PM. We'll put them through our program. We'll show them what an MREN is, if that's the word you want to call them, once they get their wings.
Call whatever you want.
Once they get their wings.
How important is previous real estate experience?
Not at all.
None.
Not at all. So, here, think about this. We specialize right now in apartments, right? Investment apartments, that's kind of our specialty. We have 4,000 of them that we manage. What's the average value of one of those apartments? Just give me a rough guess. Asset value of one of them. You're going to sell it.
600?
Okay, call it 600. We'll call it 500,000 for simplicity, right?
Yep.
But 600, you're probably closer to it. Now, I'm a property manager, and I'm going to manage 150 properties, okay? So what is the actual asset value that I'm managing of those 150 properties at $500,000?
You know, I'm not good at math.
That's okay. 75 million, right?
75 mil.
Thank you. That's our head of people right there.
Right.
$75 million portfolio. And that's just for a fairly entry-level PM,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, think about other professional services. Think about someone being responsible for $75 million in assets. You would expect to get someone who's pretty well qualified, trained, and a real professional service provider to look after that sort of portfolio, would you not?
Definitely.
That's not what we see when we look around residential PM in this industry right now, right? Again, coming from the university sector, I worked with people from all sorts of disciplines, the entire breadth of the discipline, and they're training to be a specialist. They want to be a nurse. They want to be an accountant. They want to be a historian. And they're dedicated for at least 3 years to, pursue that craft. And then they usually go into some sort of graduate program, right? What I never heard was, I want to be a property manager. But why not? It's a professional service. It is a genuinely rewarding career where you're going to be looking after large portfolios, having really strong client relationships, doing a lot of problem solving. You're essentially an independent contractor within a wonderfully supportive environment, but people don't see it that way. And so we need to change that, change the perception, change the types of people that we bring in, the ambitions that they have, the training and skills and knowledge that they get, and ensure that we are equipping them to absolutely flourish through this new industry as it professionalizes.
And to that point, Jake, so we can now, instead of just going to the real estate market, which is fairly niche, slightly damaged in terms of their commitment and, what we're looking for in terms of excellence, we could cast that net to the broader, what am I trying to say?
No, the entire
Broader
labor
world.
force. You can go to the
So
entire
now,
labor force.
now
right?
we've got, for example, in the Pathway program, we've got a wellness, a wellbeing, what is it called? A mental health nurse.
Yep.
She doesn't have experience as a PM. What she brings in terms of her natural organisational skills, following procedure, delivering on time, accuracy, professionalism, these are all traits that make a great property manager. So when we put her through our assessment, she is just a natural for doing this job. We can teach her the property management, roles and responsibilities and, the nuts and bolts of the job. But in terms of her natural ability and style to, to do and perform this function at that professional level with some formal training, she's also got a degree, which shows not necessarily that you're smarter, but a degree shows that you've got some commitment, that you're disciplined. These are all traits that build great MRE property managers. We're not talking about what great property managers are in real estate. We just care about what MRE property managers are. And they are different. They are professional, they're committed, they strive for excellence, they give that extra mile because we charge the extra mile. So they've got to give it.
We only charge for a few kilometers. We give them a few
Oh,
miles.
you
I hear what you're saying, though.
You get,
And you've
what is it?
nailed
You pay for monkeys, you get monkeys. I mean, we're getting the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And we go outside the net of PM. We don't want to just get somebody's
Correct.
hand-me-downs. They come in, they interview,
Yeah.
there's no wow factor. They don't want to really be and do the job. So we're
And
like, see you later.
This is really a crisis, a labor crisis driven by policy decisions as well as COVID and the after effects. So what we saw was that in COVID, 35% of property managers left the industry in Victoria, gone. What we saw after we emerged from COVID, a further 25% left the industry, gone. So already 55% of the labor force
Dried up.
dried up. And you can only work in real estate in Victoria if you have your Certificate 4 in real estate practice. So what that means is that as people hiring and really looking for the cream of the crop, you have a very, very limited pool of people to hire from. So break down the barriers of that pool, get the best people. So part of our program is actually we've partnered with an RTO to deliver that Cert 4 as well, integrated into this PM Pathway program, which is only one of a multitude of initiatives through the MRE Academy, but it's our first cab off the rank because that's our priority, and that's where we can see that we will make an immediate and pretty large disruption to the industry.
So that's getting the right people in the right jobs. But we also, once we get them there, it's around their progression pathway internally as well. We want to make sure that people within MRE have got opportunity to grow, develop, move into other avenues and other veins of MRE. So we have leadership training. We have a dedicated L&D area where we're qualified workplace coaches and do regular in-house training and development within all areas of the business.
Yep.
So, we give everybody that opportunity to grow, develop, move, learn, and really, progress in their pathway here.
If I was someone from a different sector and I wanted to apply for the academy,
Yep.
what would be what are you looking for a standout application? Like, how do I stand out from the rest?
Yeah, great question. And I'll let Sal jump in on this one. But before I hand back over, we did approach the market. We approached the market for this initial program, this kind of pilot intake, a couple of different ways. So one of them is I actually did go pitch at universities. And I got some university graduates who actually are looking for employment who never would have considered real estate. So we have some externals from that pathway.
Yep. We
have some of our in-house people, but you've specifically asked for approaching the rest of the market. So Sal and her team approached the market via Seek. And can you remember some of the keywords, Sal, that were on that Seek ad? Because it got great traction.
Look, it was around just being able to be open to wanting a career path where we will help, formalise the training so they didn't have to come with agents, rep certificate and quals. We did want grads, really, some, people that could demonstrate that, they had the discipline and some formalised, we want sort of formal training,
professional services in other industries, right? So who are you targeting? You had a few different
So
sectors.
we were looking, when you look at a PM, it's typically somebody very task-orientated, detailed. They love organised time, delivery, compliance, structure. We went to nurses. We went EAPA, bookkeeping, accounting, risk analysts. It's a detailed, task-orientated areas that here's an opportunity. You go to the nurse sector, where they're underpaid, overworked. We were surprised at the intake with that sector. And they see this as a fantastic opportunity to get a new career path, but still use the traits and the skills that they bring in their current industry.
That's it.
So, yeah, we've got a few different walks of life coming in to trial and see, but we've put them through the rinser, the psychometric testing to see that their traits are aligned. And yeah, as we said, we're going to put them through the program. And again, look, it's not just that testing; it's their commitment, their enthusiasm. We don't get ex-old property managers who are a bit tired and twisted. We've got people saying this is amazing. You're going to pay for my new career. You're going to put us through this program. We're going to pay you to teach you and give you this opportunity.
Absolutely. Next, we got to target flight attendants because they're great service. They know how to follow the procedure as well. They're underpaid.
Yep.
We don't have as much travel, perhaps, so maybe we don't have that perk. But
not as much turbulence.
Yeah, certainly. Well,
we got turbulence.
I have. So tell me, what does it look like after you finished the training? You've done, what is it, 8 weeks?
Yeah, so this first intake is an 8-week pilot.
It's intensive. It's really to, to assess their suitability and not just assume that they are going to progress. It's pretty rigid. It's pretty full on for them to really understand what the job is, what's required.
They'll progress. We've been so selective.
We've been pretty selective and they're really hungry. Like, we've got the wow factor. Yeah. We were able to get these people saying, can't wait. The excitement's off the charts. So that is the tick versus interviewing with real estate, with property managers that come in and say,
I'm burned out.
I'm not happy where I currently am. So can I come and be unhappy with you? No, we want people that want to be there, that really get the opportunity. So it's going to be great.
The program's robust too. Again, now the PM Pathways is only one element of studio. We got to understand, not studio. The PM Pathway is only one element of the MRE Academy. We have to discuss a bit more of that as well. But the program is going to bring people in who don't have a real estate background. So we're going to have to get their Cert 4 during the program. We're going to need to train them up on all of the legislation, all of the compliance, all of the foundational knowledge. We need to train them up in how MRE does things, all of our systems and platforms and our wow factor and our service level expectations. At the same time, we're doing all the soft skills. So there's going to be time management, conflict resolution, negotiation, your health and well-being, coaching, right? Your own strengths, your own areas for further improvement. So it's going to be a holistic, intensive program. But after that 8 weeks, we are strongly confident that our people are going to be able to step out and be the best of the best within property management, because that's what we expect and that's what we're going out for. That's what we're creating.
And a lot of it is around, bringing the right mindfulness to a job. It's also making sure that cultural alignment is the right fit. And that's important to protect and nurture our culture. When you walk in the doors of MRE, people feel it. And we need to look after that, nurture that, get the right people to build the momentum, like the buzz. People feel it. They're
They
like, this place is
absolutely do.
amazing. It's like, we've got to keep that. We've got to bring the right people in that lift. Everybody's working to, build the momentum. So it's good. And, if people don't want to be there, they're tired, they're busy, it's like, we'll help you out. We need the right people there with the right switched on attitude. We do a lot of mindfulness training with the leadership team. We need to bring our best to work. How do we do that? We don't just say it. There's some practices, some tips and, daily routines that we get them involved in to make sure that when we walk in the doors, we're on. We're in. We're a team and we do it.
So now we're getting into some of that breadth of the academy. So yes, it's an intake program. And this first one is the PM pathways. The next intake that we're planning for the end of this year is actually going to be for all 3 of our professional service divisions. So we're going to bring in people that are well equipped and aligned to PM, to business development, and to sales. And they'll have their cohort experience coming through, but then we'll be grafting them and grooming them into those 3 professional areas. That's pretty exciting stuff.
It's great.
But what Sal's doing now, what she just spoke about, is all of the leadership development and all of the personal development that we're going to see through this vehicle, through this academy. And so Sal is starting with the leaders, really important place for us to start to make sure that they
Fish rots at the head. You've got to get the leadership right?
Well,
right,
the
Jake?
strongest geese fly at the front. I don't know what it's going to be. But we're starting there because we need to make sure that our people leaders are equipped to thrive and equipped to support their people, their teams, and ensuring that they are
100%.
also thriving. So Sal has this really wonderful program around development, leadership development, personal growth and development mindset. And I mean, already in the pilot there, we're seeing really strong returns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the big draw cards that when we focus on our coaching, the coaching culture, development, it's one-on-one. It's not a cookie cutter. It's individualized. It's customized. We work with the individual to find out what your strengths are, areas to focus on, develop, and we work with you. So it's not set and forget. You do your job and that's it. How do we make you better, feel better, do better? And we've got we've got the tools, tips, coaching in place to make that happen. So people are excited. You actually don't just do your job. You keep getting better.
100%.
You keep learning.
You keep learning.
Always.
And we all
learning is
do,
earning,
right?
Right? Absolutely. Learning is earning it. If you're not curious, if you don't want to improve, if you don't want to grow, well, then we should be having conversations about that and understanding those barriers and those roadblocks, right? You can't teach curiosity. It's so important, though. And that's why we are finding people, bringing the right people in, right people, right skills, right roles, who want that growth and want that learning and want that development, because that permeates throughout the entire organization.
Yeah. And then we want to share that intel. People have got different ideas and ways. And when we all get together in these think tanks, in these brainstorming sessions and workshops, we hear from others what they're doing. How do they keep mindful? How do they keep motivated? How do they keep learning and developing? And we share that. So it's share the intel as well. So, something, you learn from everyone.
Yep.
You open your ears and your mind.
It's pretty badass.
All
You
right.
want to be in the next intake, don't you, Sinead?
Oh,
Like, get me in there.
I want to be GM of MRE. Okay, the new ad for the next academy intake will come out at the end of the year or the end half of the year. What's your advice to someone who's unsure if this is the right thing for them to do? What would you tell them to be like, take the leap?
I think it's a good question. We encourage at MRE for the internal applicants, even if you don't think you're going to get the role, even if it's maybe a no for now, not no for never. So put your hat in the ring. We can then understand where you need further coaching and development or where you're a good fit, and we will help you. If that's where you want to go, we're going to work with you to get you there. Might not be in the next program, but we
Amen.
will be on a pathway for you to get there. So, give it a go.
Give it a crack.
Um,
Absolutely. And if we see people that, and we've actually have some evidence of this, a history of this, people that we really liked and we valued, we want to have as part of the team, but they weren't quite ready yet. And these are people that are external. We've had the conversations. They've gone away and done the work. They've come back and demonstrated it, and then we've hired them, right? And it's spectacular. Andy Gourlay, who was the founder of Red Frogs, he said something to me 15 years ago that I still percolate on. No never means no. It just means not right now or not in this way.
Sometimes no means no.
Okay, well, in consent,
It's like
yes.
we're all
yes.
parents here. We know
Yes.
that
Sorry,
no
We want
means no.
enthusiastic yeses is what
I'm
we
HR.
want. Yes.
No is a no.
Yes. We want yes and enthusiastic yeses. But the point of it is,
We want consensual, yes.
that's right. But you want to have that mindset of a bit of resilience, right? And a bit of that growth mindset. And if you want something, but you're unsure, well, how are you going to know unless you actually go for it?
Yeah.
And then if you truly do want it, we're going to help you get there.
And we have those real conversations. It's not sort of skirting around and sugarcoating. It's come and talk to us about what you want, and we will help you get there, or we'll help you understand that you're probably not going to get there. And this is why, and maybe this is a better path for you. Have you considered this? So we can really help them hone their skills, and potentially they think they'd like to be a PM or they'd like to go in sales. Then we get them shadowing and mentoring what that looks like. They come back and say, you know what, that's probably not me. No, it isn't. So we show them another pathway or stick them in their lane. Some people just want to be where they are and do the best they are in that lane. We've got that too. You don't always have to be, promoted, moving.
Well, some very exciting times happening at MRE, and I can't wait to see everyone's journey. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of MRE Uncut, Jake and Sally.
Yay.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Sinead.